Hello, boys and girls. Today we are going to start reading a new text called Chameleons Are Cool by Martin Jenkins and illustrated by Sue Shields. Chameleons Are Cool is a nonfiction text. It gives us all true information about chameleons, all true facts, right? In the past, we read a book about whales and we read a book about ocean animals. And while we were reading, we were wondering and learning new information about these animals. Today, we are going to be reading Chameleons Are Cool. So good readers wonder, right? So before we start reading, we are going to wonder about chameleons. I want you to think about chameleons. I'll give you a little bit of information about them. They are lizards, and their habitat, or where they live, is in trees in parts of Africa and Madagascar. So I want you to think about chameleons. Think about what you want to know about them, right? Think about what you already know about them and what you would like to learn about them as you are reading. So I want you to press the pause button, and I want you to write down one thing that you wonder about chameleons, and we will see if it gets answered while we are reading today. And then press play when you're ready to move on. Some of the things that I'm wondering about chameleons are, I wonder why chameleons change color. I wonder how big they are. And I wonder what they eat. Today, as we are reading, we will see if any of these questions are answered, or maybe you can see if even your question gets answered. Some lizards eat bananas. Chameleons don't. Some lizards walk upside down on the ceiling. Chameleons can't. There's even a lizard that glides from tree to tree. A chameleon certainly wouldn't do that. Gecko's toes are as sticky as Velcro. And the flying lizard glides on wing-like flaps of skin. And iguanas don't just eat bananas, they love all sorts of fruit. But of all the different kinds of lizards, I still think chameleons are the best. Chameleons are cool. It's not that they're all that big. The biggest is only about the size of a small cat. It's called an Austerlitz chameleon, and it lives in Madagascar. They can be really small. Really, really small, though. The smallest one could balance happily on your little finger. It's called the dwarf Brokesia, and it lives in Madagascar, too. Whatever their size, chameleons usually get sick and die if kept as pets. They're much better off left in the wild. Okay, it's time to pause. Okay, I want you to press the pause button and think about one new thing that you learned about chameleons. You can share it with someone close to you if someone's next to you. You don't need to write it down. You could just think about it. Press play when you're ready to move on. And I suppose you wouldn't exactly call many of them beautiful. Their skin is wrinkly and bumpy, and they've got big, bulgy eyes, while lots of them have the most ridiculous noses. I think it's their noses that I like best. Their mouths are pretty odd, too. They turn down at the corners, which is why chameleons always look grumpy. Okay, we're going to stop reading there today. Okay, let's take a look at what we were wondering about chameleons, and let's see if those questions that we asked got answered. I wonder why chameleons change color. Did that get answered? No, we didn't find the answer to that yet, but maybe if we keep reading, we will find out. I wonder how big they are. Did that get answered? Yeah, it did, right? That did get answered, so I'm going to put a check mark there. We found out that chameleons can be as big as a cat, or as small as so small that it could fit on your pinky finger, right? It could balance on your pinky finger. That's pretty small. I wonder what they eat. We didn't find out what chameleons eat yet, but maybe if we keep on reading, we'll find out the answer to that. Okay, now it's your turn. I want you to write down one new fact that you learned about chameleons today that really surprised you. Something that I learned today was that they all have all different kinds of noses. I thought that was funny. And what are you still wondering about chameleons? Write that down too. One thing that I'm still wondering is maybe to go along with their noses, why do they have different shaped noses? Are they there for a special reason? Do they have different shaped noses for special reasons? Maybe we'll find out as we keep reading the story. Okay, so now it's your turn. I want you to go and write down one new fact that you learned and what you are still wondering about chameleons.